Welcome to Fitness Forever TV with M&B.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Melissa.
And welcome to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to talk about product review.
In a previous episode, we introduced you to the world of OCR racing. And today, we're going to introduce you to a product review regarding an obstacle course racing shoe.
All right.
But first,
the intro. All right, welcome back to Fitness Forever TV. I'm Brad Minus.
And I'm Melissa Trinidad.
And this is Entertainment Television,
where we talk all things wellness to help you achieve optimal health and fitness.
Love it.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we always start out with our quick fit tip. Not necessarily always a fitness, but it's always got something to do with it, either the fitness of the mind, body, or soul. Today we're going to keep going on with the body. Last couple episodes, I introduced you to mini band work, and a lot of that mini band work is all about the gluteus maximus and minimus.
Those peaches.
The butt. Right. Okay. Well, after working out, whether it be running or even with that, starting with a mini band workout, they tend to get a little bit tight. Sometimes you can actually feel the glutes starting to tighten up. So very inexpensively, there is a way to start to help loosen them up. And we can start out with just a lacrosse ball. So a lacrosse ball is used primarily because of it's a little bit harder. The outer sole is rubber, but the core is very solid. So it allows you to really dig deep into some of those myofascia that tend to get a little bit traumatized when you start working out, especially a muscle that sometimes you don't normally work out. So you get these trigger points, these points of pain. So around those trigger points of pain, if you're able to loosen up some of the muscle, it will allow lactic acid and hydration and blood to heal any of those lesions that are broken down simply by working out. And you can do that, especially after mini band work where everything's focused on the glutes, literally by sitting on the ball.
Yes,
just like that. And if you run a really good one, you can start to, So yes, but that's definitely it. Using a circular pattern around the trigger point, you can actually start to loosen up the glutes.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then you can literally go into the hamstring, doing the same thing. And I'm doing this on a bench, but on the floor, you can have somebody rolling it on your back. Again, if you're looking for a quad, you can be moving around right on your quad. And what's great about this is that it can be done anywhere.
Right.
You can take it to travel or whatever you want to do.
It's inexpensive.
Right.
99 cents.
Yeah,
save yourself that massage money of $90 or whatever it is for the hour and do this anytime that you want.
Exactly. Literally sitting at my desk, because I have a full-time job as well in corporate America. But I can have this sitting at my desk. I can be rolling it around here. I can sit it underneath my chair while I'm typing. I can kind of move things around. I can have it underneath my feet. So it's really an inexpensive piece of self-massage equipment. 99 cents pretty much at any sporting goods store. Or if you've got a child that plays lacrosse, he probably has one for you.
You can steal one of theirs.
Or you can steal one of theirs. Or if you happen to live around a high school that plays lacrosse, they litter them in the fields. So that makes it really easy. So there is B's Fit Tip of the Week.
Yeah, that's awesome, B. Recovery is such an important part of the fitness and wellness spectrum. I mean, without rest and recovery, we can't continue to become well and fit. So my quick tip of the day is along the same line of self-massage. Whether you are an athlete or not, this is something that could apply to anyone with our modern day shoes. Women who have these beautiful shoes and high heels, their feet are often traumatized, and even men too with their shoes. Well, anyone. So whether you're regardless of if you're an athlete or just an everyday person, a great way to relieve foot pain is through another form of self-massage, and an even less expensive way than going out and getting a lacrosse ball is just to simply get a bottle of water, dump out a little bit of it so it's not full, freeze it overnight, and then this tool, this now frozen, this isn't frozen, but let's imagine that it is, that this bottle of water is now frozen. So now we have a hard surface, and let's imagine that this is my foot. Now we can massage the bottom arch of our foot, relieving the fascia around the feet to help alleviate that pain. And at the same time, it being ice, it'll help reduce inflammation. So that's my quick tip of the day. If you're looking to relieve some kind of foot pain, which a lot of people suffer from simply because of the type of shoes they wear or whether or not they're athletes, the frozen water bottle is a great, inexpensive, quick way to help alleviate that kind of muscle pain.
Right, and ladies, just as from a runner, I love all of you in your high heels. It makes your legs look beautiful. They're so bad for you. So I would suggest, if you don't already, anytime you get a chance, you're in the office, take the shoes off underneath your desk, walk around, bring another pairs of flats when you don't need to be seeing clients or you don't need to be seen in your heels, and use them for when you need to, not all the time. It'll help you out in the long run. Mm-hmm. But then again, like I said, they do make your legs look pretty good. So it's okay. There's definitely a place.
All right, Brad, that's enough now. That was our quick tip, and we're moving on.
Chill.
That's me saying that to you most of the time.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, those are our tips, and let's now get into the meat of our program. Or not the meat, because I am vegan, but let's get into the substance of what we're talking about today. So a couple episodes ago, we introduced you to the world of OCR racing. Today, I'm going to do a product review of something that I use personally whenever I participate in OCR racing. I'm going to introduce to you today my favorite pair of trail running shoes. That's the Inov8 Talon 212. But before I get into why I absolutely love this shoe so much, Brad's going to school us a little bit about the anatomy of the shoe.
Oh, well, thank you very much. So any running shoe usually has about 5 main parts to it. You have the outsole, which is usually made of, this is actually a rubber outsole. A lot of your main running shoes have what they call an EVA foam sole. Then you've got the upper, which is usually a knit or a canvas, depending on the type. Then of course you've got your lace, your lace rivets. Then you have the heel cup. And then to get even closer to it, we have what we call the stack. So the stack height, you've got a ball of the foot, so you've got the ball stack height, and then you've got the heel stack height. The subtraction of the stack height of the heel and the ball of the foot stack height is what we call the heel drop. And that's when, if you're able to go into a store and you say, hey, I see those shoes, what's the heel drop? And they will tell you, it could be 4 millimeters, could be 6 millimeters, could be 0 millimeters. To give you a point of reference, your flat foot, your bare foot on the ground is 0, right? It's where your ball of your foot and the heel of your foot are at the same height. This shoe here, I'm guessing, is a 4 millimeter stack height. So the heel, when you're in the shoe, your heel is 4 millimeters above the ball of your foot, which is very small. Mm-hmm. Most of your standard running shoes are anywhere from 10 to 12.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the thought of it is the fact that now your calf muscle doesn't have a full range of motion, because it's 12 millimeters above your heel. When your heel comes all the way down, you get a full stretch on the calf muscle, creating strength. That's that movement, right? When you're running, not only is it hips and core and everything else, but that calf muscle, when you're at a 0 drop, you've got full range of motion. Mm-hmm. At 4 millimeters, you've got almost all the range of motion. But at 12 millimeters, it's a little bit higher. There's reasons for it. But when you want to train, my suggestion as a running coach is you want to be as close to 0 as possible. My favorite running shoes are Ultras, and they are all 0 drop. Mm-hmm. But this is an OCR running shoe, but that is the anatomy of a shoe.
Oh,
and let me turn that over and let her talk about the Inov8 Talon.
Yeah, well, thank you, Brad, for that, information. I never realized that there was so much that went into the anatomy of a shoe. I product test things, I think just by trying things out. If I don't like it, I move on. I've tried other OCR shoes in the past, produced by companies such as Reebok, where I was left feeling very unhappy with. So eventually I came across the Inov8 trail running shoe, the x-talon 212. And what I love about this shoe is that it's a very minimal shoe. Most of the time I personally prefer to be barefoot, whether I'm running on the beach, even when I'm training in the gym. I use a very minimalist shoe. I don't like a lot to my shoe. I believe in a strong foot with good toe spread and a healthy foot and a strong foot. So with the Inov8, that being said, the x-talon 212, it's a very lightweight shoe. It's got great grip to it. The teeth on the shoe are very aggressive. A lot of times out there in OCR racing, I see people out there in regular sneakers slip sliding away like they're on a slip and slide. With this, you have sure-footedness. There's a lot of climbing in OCR racing, and what I like about this is that it also has a built-in insert for rope climbing. And on top of that, it's got great drainage. In Spartan racing, OCR racing, a lot of times you're going to get the down and dirty. You're going to get submerged in water. And what's great about this is that it doesn't carry a lot of water. I find that it drains very quickly. Another thing that I love about this shoe are the laces on this shoe. I know that sounds pretty basic, but like in triathlon racing, I've always used the laces that require no tying because I always worry about my shoes becoming untied. But with this shoe, rest assured, once it's in place, it's in place. The tongue isn't moving anywhere. With previous shoes that I've raced in, the tongue might be all the way off to the side. With this, the shoe stays in place. It's like a sock, if you can imagine your own bare feet with talons underneath it to grip the earth. You're sure-footed in this shoe. It's super lightweight. It drains really well, and it's a really pretty shoe too. That's what I love about it. It's an aggressive shoe, but it's super lightweight. Like I said, it drains great, and they're available online on the Inov8 website, which we'll leave in the comments down below. But overall, if you're looking to to be confident and sure-footed on race day, I highly recommend the Inov8 x-talon 212.
Definitely. And if you like to run in the trails,
right?
If you just like to run for trails, it's not strictly just for racing, but it's just a lot of fun, lightweight. And if you like running trails, if you like running on grass, if you like just staying out of the pavement, I think it would be a great shoe.
And actually, as a matter of fact, in the last Spartan race that I did, which was a city race, which is more pavement running, I still used these.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even with all the obstacles,
cool.
I found that although I was running on pavement, these still came in handy for all the climbing obstacles. So highly recommend these for OCR racing.
And how did you feel about on the pavement side of it?
It was fine. It didn't really bother me.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they feel knobby, when you're running, but it didn't distract me from my running form or anything like that. They still felt great.
Cool. So, Spartan just sent me a pair of their purple brand new racing OCR shoes, and I'm going to try them out at the race. So after the race, we will compare and contrast how we felt in these shoes versus mine.
Yeah, and that's the race that we're training for with the team on December 7th at the Central Florida Spartan race. So I'll be running by Brad in my Inov8s, and
you wish.
we'll see about that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's great, guys. So please refer to our comments below with links to Inov8 and the Spartan shoe, and we'll be happy to hear your feedback.
Yeah, definitely. And any comment you have, if you've tried the Inov8 or if you've run in the Spartan shoe yet, then let us know, and we'd love to hear about it, and we'll definitely give you a little mention here on our episode.
A little shout out. Woo woo. Yeah.
All right, so that's the main content.
Yeah. And let's talking about shout outs, let's transition, as you were saying. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, don't please.
I know.
This is our show.
Oh, feeling the love.
Yeah. So anyway, we usually end our show with a piece of motivation, and I believe as we talk about the Spartan obstacle racing scene that you have somebody that you've actually met and raced alongside.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met him personally. I would love to meet him, and I think he is a bit of an icon in our sport, not just to to people, specifically to OCR racing, I think this guy is a motivational inspiration to anyone out there looking to get up and get off the couch. His name is Casey McAllister. He's a double amputee, and he lost both of his legs in an accident. But that didn't stop him from living the life that he dreamt of. And Casey, he races without prosthetics.
Prosthetics?
So think of all of those obstacles, and not just the running aspect. I mean, he's running with his upper body, with his hands, and he's doing all these trails, and he's traversing muddy hills. And not only is he doing that, I mean, that's just the basics of it. He's climbing ropes, he's traversing walls, he's going under dunk walls, he's crawling under barbed wire, he's running up slip walls with his arms. I mean, this man is so inspirational and motivational to so many people. I mean, if you thought you were limited because of you weren't in shape enough, or you're too old, or you're this or you're that, take a moment and get some perspective. Check out Casey McAllister. Check him out online. See who he is and what he does, and take away that motivation, inspiration, and get your butt off the couch.
Absolutely, and we'll go ahead and we'll link to whatever we can find in the show notes below. I've also met, his name is Scott Rigsby. He's a double amputee, and he was the first double amputee ever to finish the Kona Ironman. And absolutely close to the same story. Of course, he does use prosthetics,
right? Well,
but still a major feat for somebody that's a double amputee. I'm not going to go into his story, maybe in a different episode, but it just gives me inspiration that, if these guys can do it, if these guys can get off the couch and become some of these icons and do good with it, not just for themselves, but for a lot of other people as well, then anybody can do it. So if you're looking for that motivation, take a look at these guys online, Casey McAllister, Scott Rigsby, and see what they're doing. And I think if you're looking for that motivation, I think it'll help. Yeah,
I mean, it not only motivates me, but it gives me an appreciation for what we have, and it's humbling, and it's a motivation to do more. So thank you guys for doing what you do, and keep doing what you're doing.
Right. So, hey, Casey, Scott, I've met you, but Casey, she'd like to run and race against you.
I'd love
to talk to you. If you happen to be watching, hey, come on the show. Let us interview you. We'd appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, I just want to lay one more piece of groundwork. We talk about OCR and the way that Melissa is a highly competitive person, and that's her part of fun, right? We all have our definitions of fun. I've got clients that their fun is just finishing, and not even thinking about the competition of it. It's just, hey, when I take the challenge, I'm going to finish, and I'm going to be better than I did the day before. Mm-hmm. Same thing with obstacle course racing, and I've done a few, you've done many. There are all sizes, shapes of people out there, and they're there to finish, or they're there just to have some fun. It doesn't need to be this big competition.
No, it doesn't. But the majority of the people out there participating in those races aren't the elite athletes. They're not the competitive athletes. The biggest field of people that are competing in these Spartan races is the open field. And those are not your people who are out there to get on the podium. Those are the people out there who want to do the best that they can do, and it's all about kinship. Even at the elite level, there's kinship and camaraderie, but overall, the participants there are there with the like-minded goal of completing an OCR race. And let me tell you, it's a wonderful feeling, and that's part of the reason why I train a team every year to do it. It's because it's just the accomplishment and the camaraderie and the kinship that's out there on the field. And there's so many things that divide us these days that, something like this brings everyone together, and it's a beautiful thing.
And if you're ever worried about, hey, do I have to go into the water? Or do I have to go into the mud? Turn it around on yourself. Think about when you were a kid and you jumped into mud puddles and you went into water that you weren't supposed to. You wanted to run through the sprinkler and you did it with your full clothes on. This is about getting to that, find that child inside you and jumping and doing all that stuff all over again, even just for that short time. Come out, you know what? Everything, all that mud, everything washes away.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't stay with you for the rest of your life. So go out, have some fun, get rid of some of those limits, and you know, and enjoy it. Just have a great time.
Yeah, because you know what, you'll have those memories and that feeling of accomplishment for the rest of your life. That dirt is only temporary.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
yeah. So, that being said, guys, if you like what you heard today, if you didn't like what you heard today, go ahead and like, comment, dislike. Just let us know. Subscribe. We won't know unless you tell us. So please keep letting us know what you want to hear, and we're gonna come back to you and give it to you.
Absolutely. So for Melissa and myself, B, I want to thank you for joining us again, and have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you then.
Bye.